Namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to jump on this Facebook Live. My name is Ashley Turner. So grateful to be here with you tonight. Those of you who are just jumping on, do head over to the comments and let me know in the comments where you're from. And if you are a yoga teacher, if you're a yoga student, if you are a therapist, I want to know a little bit more about you. This is absolutely my favorite thing to do, connect with all of you guys, and super, super excited about the community that we have forming here, the yoga psychology community, just those of you who are out there really bringing the power of yoga meditation through in really accessible ways and helping people change their lives. So if you're just jumping on, jump in the chat box, jump in the comments, let me know where you're from. And if you teach yoga, if you're a student, if you're a therapist, I want to hear from you. So tonight we are talking all about the heart chakra, Anahata. I'm going to put that up here for you guys. Heart. Here we go. Okay, so the heart chakra, Anahata, and this is a master class. I'm doing a whole series of Facebook Lives, master classes on each one of the chakras. Those of you who've been following me for any length of time know that the chakras are one of my favorite topics, and the reason is because I feel like it's such a practical map of how to look at how the psyche lives in the body. How we can use the body and work, as I say, from the outside in to address physical change, address change in our lifestyle, nutrition, our bodies, exercise, of course, yoga asana, and how that change in the outer external body will create a shift in our inner life, our mood state, our belief systems, our feelings. And in yoga psychology, we want to work from the inside out. So we're creating shifts in our thought patterns through meditation, through bhakti yoga, through mantra, through psychotherapy, through self-inquiry, creating shifts in the inner life that then ripple out and affect change in our outer life. So the chakra system is a really great way. And once you kind of have a sense and a basic knowledge and working knowledge and understanding of chakra system, it's just really, really helpful, and you can use it as a mirror, both to begin to diagnose or begin to see where the imbalances are, and also as an anecdotal treatment. So understanding some really practical tools and lifestyle considerations that can help create change. So please enter your questions at any time. I'm watching the comments live here, and I want to hear from you all. Any questions that you have about the chakras, about yoga psychology, put it in the comments about the heart chakra in particular. If you're going through sadness, grief, heartbreak, heartache, disappointment, betrayal, loss, all of these kind of heart issues that we have. So I am in the middle. We are in the middle. Super, super exciting. We are in the middle of launching our registration for my Yoga Psyche Soul live training is open, and I'm gonna put the link up here for you guys so that you can head on over there if you are interested. I have a live training that I do I'll put it in the Facebook comments here. There you go. So I have a live training that I do every year, and it's 6 modules. It's yoga psychology training. You can sign up for one module at a time. You can sign up for all the modules together. If you do sign up for all 6 modules, you will be eligible for 300-hour Yoga Alliance Advanced Teacher Training. But you can also just sign up for one module individually or combine a couple different ones. So that is live. We are opening registration this week, and I just want to let you know because I'm limiting the registration to 25 people, so only 25 people for each module. So head on over on that link if you're interested. Check out all the curriculum for each one of the modules, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But I do have a whole live training on the chakra system, and again, this is something I've been teaching for over 13, 14 years. So it's really come to life And for those of you that are interested in a deep dive in the chakras that's really combined with clinical psychotherapy, because I weave in a lot of case studies, things that I've seen in my own personal experience and clinical practice, and I weave that into the training. So it's very in-depth and really beautiful, but you can click that link and head on over and check it out. So the fourth chakra, if you have not watched the last 3 videos, please go back and check those out, especially if you're watching this and recording later on. Go back and check out those first few master classes, Facebook Lives. And the way that I like to teach the chakras is through the developmental lens. So we're going to look at a certain age group for the heart chakra. The age group for when Anahata is developed is 4 to 7 years old. So the heart chakra, interestingly, is the energetic center of the body. We have 3 chakras above the throat, the third eye, the crown, and 3 chakras below: the root, the sacral sexual organs, and the belly center, Manipura. So the Anahata, the 4th chakra, is the only chakra that has actually a physical horizontal axis, right? And that's the arms. So the arms, the shoulders, the arms, the hands are an extension of Anahata. And I like to think of the gesture, because we always use the body as a metaphor. A gesture of Anahata is the gesture of the hug. And the hug is coming together. It's unity, which is sort of a buzzword at this particular moment in our geopolitical culture, thankfully. But when you think of the metaphor of a hug, the energy is that union. And so in the yoga practice, in the yoga psychology practice, Anahata, the heart chakra, really represents the place of namaste and the gesture of namaste, meaning you and I are one. When I rest in my highest good and you rest in your highest good and we meet there, we are one. And so when we come to Anahata, when we reach this phase of development, we're moving out of just this individual sense of self. So that was yesterday's, actually 2 days ago, we had the masterclass on Manipura. Go back and check that out. That's all about ego development, individual self, the asmita, the ahamkara in yoga psychology. And then when we rise up to Anahata, we're coming into this, a bit of a transcendent experience where all of a sudden it's not just me, mine, and you, yours. When we come into Anahata, we're connecting to that we are one, that my actions influence and impact you, and vice versa. And my thoughts influence and impact you. And we actually rise into a greater collective power when we're in that heart field. So there's so much study and science that's been going on now with heart math and understanding the frequencies and the resonant field that's created. And one of the big, big teachings of yoga psychology and the yoga psyche soul training is creating, as a teacher, creating what's called a resonant field. And this is exactly why we focus on creating a resonant field. It's because when we join together in a field that's resonant, our vibration amplifies. And this is even spoken about in the Bible with Jesus: when 2 or more are gathered in my name, you are with God. Experience that Holy Spirit. So when we come together, we have the opportunity to amplify our field in every way. And this is why, as a yoga teacher or a therapist or a parent, or even in your workday, one of our greatest attributes and one of our greatest intentions, should really be, how can we create a resonant field so that people come into our presence and they feel loved and they feel compassion and they feel connected. So these are the qualities of the heart chakra. So 4 to 7 years old, this governs our social identity. The identity where, again, we start to connect out of just 2 or 3 years old. Now 4 to 7 years old, we're connecting on a social level, developing friendships, developing relationships, and really the quality of our relationships sits here in Anahata. The rite of passage in Anahata is our ability to give love and our ability to receive love. So again, it's the energy of the heart. And for those of you that are just jumping on, please, 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 even if you're watching in the recording, jump in the comments and let me know where you're from, and if you're a yoga teacher or a student, how long you've been practicing. I want to get to know you all and follow up with you all and start some dialogue. So do jump in the comments and let me know. So what I would love to hear, I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions, but first of all, let's start with the qualities that are held in Anahata. The qualities of self that we develop during the phase of development of Anahata, the fourth chakra, are, of course, love. Of course, this is the center of love. Love, we have compassion is a core quality. Unity and forgiveness would be another big quality. So unconditional, forgiveness. There we go. All right, I'm getting in there. Okay, can't see all the words if I check them out. So love, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, and unity. Again, coming into a unified field to see the other as the self. And so again, we begin to focus just as much on the quality of the relationship and the other as we do on ourselves and getting our own needs met. So all of a sudden, our needs are entwined with another's, and we start to see the interdependence of our relationships, and that's really, really important. So those of you that are just jumping on, if you're enjoying this, give it a little like, share this if you think this is a masterclass that other people would be interested in. Share this so maybe they can jump on live with us right now. And do leave a comment, who you are, where you're from, if you're a student, if you're a teacher, how long you've been teaching or studying, and I want to get to know you. So qualities of having an excessive Anahata, too much, or an overdeveloped Anahata would look like, love addiction, having, too much. If you think of the physical quality of Anahata are the chest, the heart, of course, the lungs, the breasts, lymph even here, as I mentioned, the arms, the hands as well. So if you think of the energy of the mother, right, the mother of having the breastfeeding, of giving that nourishment, of giving that love, unconditional love to the child. But when the mother gives too much, this over-giving energy, or a person, anyone, so that's the metaphor, anyone that's giving too much in love, over-giving, overly self-sacrificing, can look like love addiction, can look like codependence. Codependence lives here in Anahata. When you're constantly placing everyone else's needs before your own, or you're abandoning yourself to try to get or feel that love from another. That would look like, that would be an excessiveness. Excessiveness would also be narcissism. So being so in love with yourself, narcissus, so in love with yourself that you're not even aware of another person's needs. The opposite of that would be the deficiency in Anahata. Deficiency would look like having no self-love, having not enough love for yourself. Sometimes you can even see people physically that have a sunken chest. So if there's a sunken chest, or they're deeply caught in grieving, because let me just put up here for you the shadows of Anahata. The biggest core shadow is grief, but of course also sadness, betrayal in love, if you were betrayed, abandonment, and where you have this lack of love. If you grew up in a very cold environment, emotionally cold environment, right? A lack of love. But let's take, for example, someone, I just was hearing this story the other day of a friend of a friend. This is a good question. How do I learn to receive? I find it so easy to give love. Let's talk about that. I was listening to a story about a friend was explaining to me, describing a woman that had a heartbreak very early, like in, I think it was like their aunt. And it was in their early 20s or 30s that the marriage fell apart. And she had been really, really in love with this man. And then never, they split up, and he went on, and maybe he even had an affair and went on with that woman. But this woman never recovered from that, and she never dated again. She was never in a relationship again. She never opened herself up to love again. So that's someone where that deficiency or the wounding in Anahata is, actually running the show. So the shadow of Anahata is running the show, and there's not the healing or the integration of the soul lesson there, right? Or if someone, experienced grief, or of course loss of a loved one, and I have a whole, actually I'm going to remind my assistant to go back, and I want to do a master class on grief, because I have really kind of it's a big passion project for me, and a bit of a soapbox about how our society is not set up to help us with grieving a loss of obviously a loved one, but a pet, a job, financial security, physical prowess, part of our health or wellness when we grieve that, if we have a surgery or a cancer or something, aging process, grieving, abortion or miscarriage. So all of these kinds of things would live in Anahata and could show up as a shadow of Anahata. So the work of, we want to bring ourselves out of the deficiency into the balance, or out of the excessiveness and back into balance. And the work depends on which way you need to go. But the element associated with Anahata is air, the air element. So when you think of the metaphor, the element for Muladhara is earth. We talked about that last week. Svadhisthana is water. Third chakra is fire. So we're getting less dense as we move up the spinal column. And the fourth chakra is air. So when you think of the metaphor of air, literally the lungs are the wings of Anahata. And when we take in a breath, we breathe in and we fill our lung capacity. So let's just do that together. Inhale together. Feel your ribs and your lungs expand, and then swallow that internally and exhale. And what we're doing is oxygenating the blood, and then the function of the heart itself is to pump that blood around the whole body. So just placing your attention on your breath will start to place your attention on Anahata, because this is where you literally take in the breath. Those of you that are just joining us and watching, please jump in the comments. Please share this if you like it, share it with someone so maybe we can get more people watching on this live together. If you have any questions, comments, please put it in the comments below, but definitely let me know where you're from. If you're a teacher, if you're a student, I want to hear from you, and I want to get to know you and how long you've been teaching or how long you've been practicing yoga or meditation. So jump in the comments. So air connected to Anahata. One of the big therapies that we would want to apply to heal Anahata is breath work, of course, is pranayama. So deep, full yogic breathing. Apparently I need more oxygen. I'm not going to even talk about the yawning thing, but it's not because I need to sleep, just so you know. Okay. Another big therapy for Anahata is, again, we want to think about the metaphor of the heart chakra. So anything physically, when we're looking at the chakra system, that can manipulate this part of the body. So here we're talking about the thoracic spine, all kinds of heart openers, all kinds of back bends, even something simple like laying on a block, letting your shoulder blades melt down, laying on a bolster, letting the arms and the shoulder blades relax. Of course, deeper back bends, breathing into the back of the heart. The back of the heart is where the back of the body in general is where we tend to hold more of our shadow material. It's what we can't quite see. So anytime we're getting into the back of the body, we're churning up some of this psyche, some of the material that might be living in this part of our body. So back bends are super, super helpful. In the same token, forward bends can be helpful as well, and twisting and using shoulder openers. So any kind of shoulder opener, whether it's the elbow, the arm down, wrapping through the shoulders. If you have shoulder issues, I'm working with a little shoulder injury right now on my right shoulder here. Working very therapeutically with the shoulders, getting the shoulders into their fullest rotation, keeping the heart and chest really open, supporting that with all the grounding and all the steadiness that we've already cultivated in the lower 3 chakras. So again, if you're just watching, go back and tune into those last 3 master classes. This is the 4th master class of 7. Other things that you can do that are very beneficial to bring healing to the heart chakra and grieving, disappointment, sadness. With each of the chakras, there is a certain yoga that's associated with it. And the yoga that's associated with Anahata is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of chanting. It's the yoga of ritual, of prayer, of coming together and worshiping. So whatever that looks like for you. I have a whole priestess school that I run with my Shakti sister, Sienna Sherman, and we do a lot of ritual, extensive ceremony. But there's a whole school of yoga called Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga, the chanting, the ritual, the prayer, the puja, especially the chanting, is really considered to be one of the fastest doorways to penetrate, open, and heal the heart. So I highly, highly, highly recommend trying kirtan, trying chanting. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow, so tune back in because we're going to talk a lot more about mantra tomorrow. And we'll do some mantra tomorrow in our Facebook Live. And that's going to be at noon Pacific time, by the way, so tune in for that. But chanting is exceptional. And so one of the things that in my Yoga Psyche Soul program that we are in the middle of live registration, I'm going to put it up here for you, live training. You can go to this link, and it's in the comments, actually. And you can go to this link to check out all the curriculum. But the 4th module of Yoga Psyche Soul Live here in Venice is all about, I'm going to put it up just so you have there we go. The 4th module of Yoga Psyche Soul is entirely about Bhakti and Mantra Yoga. And the reason is because I just so strongly believe in the power of chanting, the power of coming together in prayer, kirtan. It has completely healed me from depression, from low self-esteem, when I've been in very deep grief. It's been one of the go-tos. And you can simply turn on Krishnadas, Dave Stringer, Govindas, oh gosh, I'm thinking of it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, so many incredible musicians with chanting now, but it's not in car. That's what I was thinking of. And you can just turn them on your music and listen, but there's nothing that substitutes singing along. So even if it's a very simple mantra, maybe it's Ram, 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 or Sita Ram, Sita Ram, or Hare Krishna. It doesn't even have to be in Sanskrit, of course. Any song that is a medicine song for you, that is a soul song that feels good. I grew up, for example, singing in church choir in Illinois. I went to a beautiful church, Second Presbyterian Church in Bloomington, Illinois, and we had an exceptional choral program. And so I sang in choir. In fact, I was saying today, I just moved into a new house, and I pulled up, I've been going through all my boxes, and so I was looking at all my scrapbooks and from childhood and high school, and looking at these pictures of me in choir when I was 5, 6, 7, all the way through 18 years old. I was singing in church choir, and I'm really so grateful for that experience because it helped me find my voice. And I don't have an exceptional singing voice by any means, but I had the vocal training of understanding how to project and connect to my voice. And so singing, it could be Christian songs, songs that just uplift you now, medicine songs of any kind. I work a lot with one of my great teachers, Jared Tree. He's an incredible musician, and he's coming here tomorrow morning actually, to stay with me, and doing some medicine circles this week, next month. And one of the things that we do is we sing a lot. We sing songs in Spanish, in Hebrew, in Sanskrit, in English, in Quechua. So singing these different medicine songs heal the spirit, and all of our indigenous ancestors know this, and this is why their healing circles centered around the fire, around song, around music. So again, we're going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow when we get to the throat chakra. So tune in tomorrow, 12 noon Pacific, if you can, and if you can't, just watch it later. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments right now so that I can attend to them, because I'm going to be jumping off in just a few minutes. Let's see here. Pull it down. There we go. Oh, it's not the right direction. All right. There we go. It's weird. I don't see all the comments, but I see some of them. Okay. So heart chakra, the singing and chanting, very deep medicine. And then a few other things I want to leave you with, some lifestyle considerations. Definitely having images of people that you love around your home, of happy moments, of things that you love around your home. It can instill and evoke this quality of loving kindness, of unconditional love. Other things that really help stimulate and squeeze and flex the muscle of unconditional love, playing with pets, particularly playing with dogs, but playing with animals and playing with children, young children and babies, because they're just in that awe-inspiring purity. So playing with children, playing with pets, holding babies, this really touches that tenderness and lightness in our heart, and helps get us back to that purity and remember the pure quality of love. So consider that. Consider connecting, spending time with people that you love, just non-goal oriented, of course, non-goal oriented time, just playing and being together. Cuddling, touch, some of us need more of that than others, but that's a really good way to just express love. So be mindful of your hands. Again, the hands, the arms are an extension of the heart chakra. So the way that you touch your child or your lover or your parent, your sibling, whoever, really having that loving touch. But having images of things that you love, spending time with self-love, of course, whether that's taking a bath, whether that's self-care, whatever your version of self-care is, definitely instilling that sweetness, and definitely bhakti and chanting and praying and just spending time connecting into the field, the heart field, the field of love. So there are some great tips for you for Anahata. Please like this. If you like this video, please share this with your friends if you think this is something that people can benefit. Tag someone if you think in particular, if they're going through a rough patch or grieving or sadness, tag them so maybe they can watch this video. And my live training is open for registration. We are limiting it to 25 people per module. It's here in Venice, California. Click on the link right here, bit.ly/YPS Yoga Psyche Soul Live. Those are the 4 capital letters there. It is case sensitive, and the link is right there in the comments. I would love to have you come to any of these if you're working through anything, particularly at this phase of your life. This training is really transformational. It's a fusion of yoga and psychology. So the way that I teach in my groups is very facilitating. You all would fill out a big assessment form. I'm really aware of what's happening in your life. We might even do a session, a private session before you come to the training. And then I'm weaving the curriculum and I'm weaving the practices along with who's in the room. So it's very curated and customized to the group. That's why I want to keep it at 25 people. You can sign up for any of the modules individually. You can sign up for all of them together. It's really an honor to offer this. It's at the beautiful Mystic Journey in Venice, Mystic Journey Yoga. And just so humbled and so grateful to invite you to this program. I'm so proud of this curriculum. I'm so proud of who's already coming to the training and the group that we have forming from all around the world. And I just can't wait to share it with you. So if you're interested, check it out. You can also set up a call with my program manager. She's been through the whole training, apprenticed me last year. can answer all of your questions. We have incredible field trips that we take around Los Angeles, and it's focused on shadow work. It's focused on you doing your own work. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's for the lion-hearted, and it's really magical. And that's what one of my students, Casey Dreyer, said last year, which I loved. She just wrote it on Instagram actually the other day. This is the most magical thing that I have ever done in my life. So it is, it's really special, and we start in May. 2 modules in May, 2 modules in September, 2 modules in November. Click the link and you can check out all the details. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Come back here tomorrow at noon. We're going into the Throat Chakra Masterclass, and you might even get a bonus Facebook Live tomorrow. All right. Sending you so much love. Namaste.